I started collecting in video games in about '95. And then in the early 2000s, I ended up opening up a booth at a flea market. And after about 2 years of doing that, I ended up finding a store called NexWave Communications, which sold cell phones, but had a little showcase full of video games. But the owner was looking to get out. So I ended up buying his business, got rid of all the cell phone stuff, and just strictly went video games. So unfortunately didn't have a choice over the name because the name was already kind of chosen for me. We mainly deal in retro. That is our main push, that is our main goal, is to be able to supply a good selection of titles, anything from the more common titles to the extremely rare titles. One thing that, being a collector as well too, that I always wanted to have was a place that I could go into to not only find the cheaper title that I was after, but also to be able to find the more expensive or more rare title that I just was not able to find anywhere. The one line I always say that I always hated hearing was, yeah, we don't carry that, you have to find that on eBay. I prefer to actually stock stuff that you can't find anywhere else, that eBay would have been at some point your only choice. I would say it is definitely a major issue. A lot of people like to use that as a jumping point to why they collect, is for the preservation purpose. I know that now a lot of companies and a lot of organizations are out there right now doing work like that to try to preserve what is out there, just to make sure that more does not disappear. I also do that as well too as a personal collector, where like over the years we've gotten in prototype cartridges, or we've gotten in systems that programmers used to actually make games, and sometimes they have codes still on the hard drives that are for older versions or older builds of games. We like to keep stuff like that, and then we do the normal route where we dump the ROM to the internet so that everybody can see what is out there. Even a bad game or a game that's not fully designed.
This game is diarrhea farts.
Still has elements that people want to draw upon or want to be able to play and fool around with just to see what the programmer was thinking. I would say our main challenge right now is just sourcing, just trying to keep the store and the selection up to what we consider to be par, generally every single week or month or whatever you want to call it, because I'm the main buyer for the store. So I'm driving all across Canada and to parts of the United States just to purchase collections, small and large, to bring them up to the store, just to keep the shelves up to a standard that we've made for ourselves. Well, number one, our retro selection. You would not find that at any of the other bigger chain stores or anything like that. You don't find retro games selling there. So that is our main push. But even on the newer quality titles, so the Switch, the PS5, to a lesser extent the PS4, we carry a lot of titles that you would not see Walmart or Gamestop carry. We carry a lot of the indie label stuff, a lot of the limited run titles that you just don't see at those places. A lot has been said about values of retro video games, about it being a very, very expensive hobby to get into. And yes, there are many prime examples of a lot of games that are very expensive, but there are also a lot of amazing titles as well too that can be had for very little money. So it doesn't really matter what your budget is, you can always enjoy gaming. There is just as many great titles at $5 or $10 as there is at $100 or $200.